Immigrants are the backbone of America's greatness, powering its economy, enriching its culture, and advancing its global leadership. Yet, under the guise of making America great again, Trump's exclusionary racist policies are dismantling that very foundation, stifling innovation, and tarnishing the nation's moral standing. To understand the magnitude and the importance of immigrants in the United States and the need for continued immigration, the following clearly shows how deeply they sustain our workforce, drive innovation, and secure America's competitiveness edge on the global stage. The current state of immigration: over 1 million farm workers in the United States are undocumented, including approximately 40% of crop farm workers. Immigrants account for roughly 70% of all U.S. farm workers, making them indispensable to the agricultural labor force and underscoring how dependent Americans' food production is on this workforce. We are already witnessing the impacts of immigration's crackdown on the U.S. farms industry. In California's Central Valley, a majority of farm workers stopped showing up after intensive ice raids in July 2025, leaving crops rotting in the fields due to a lack of available workers. This has resulted in substantial financial losses, food waste, reduced farm revenues, and rising fruit prices. Beyond agriculture, immigrants from Latin America and other regions are heavily represented in construction, hospitality, food processing. They account for approximately 33% of meat processing and over 80% of food manufacturing workers. In the leisure and hospitality sector, immigrants account for roughly 18% of workers. In travelers' accommodations, i.e. hotels, alone over 30% of workers are immigrants. According to the National Science Foundation, foreign workers account for approximately 22% of the United States STEM workforce. Among science and engineering occupations with doctorates, about 43% are foreign-born. In the doctorate level fields of computer and mathematical sciences, this share exceeds 55%. Roughly 30% of full-time sciences and engineering faculty at U.S. universities are foreign-born, disproportionately present at research-intensive institutions. Denying admission of scientists from countries such as India and China, Mexico, and Argentina would result in a serious talent shortages in key STEM fields. Moreover, inventors and entrepreneurs account for a disproportionately large share of U.S. patents, high-growth startup, and advanced degree STEM workers. Thus, losing foreign-born scholars would undermine research, reduce innovation, slow scientific progress, and erode U.S. technological and economic competitiveness. Research on immigrant entrepreneurship indicates that immigrants are heavily overrepresented among founders of new firms, including high-tech firms and unicorn startups, which amplifies the long-term damage that restrictive policies toward non-European scientists would inflict. Immigrants in the United States military in 2017, about 190,000 foreign-born individuals were on active duty, representing roughly 4.5% of all active duty service members. As of 2024, approximately 8,000 non-citizens enlist each year. As of 2022, there were about 731,000 foreign-born veterans, around 4.5% of the total veteran population. Historically and today, foreign-born soldiers have played key roles in every major U.S. conflict, dating back to the Revolutionary War, and immigrants have received more than 20% of all medals of honor, underscoring the depth of their contribution to national defense. President Reagan's honoring of immigrants. Perhaps no one could express the vital importance of immigrants to the United States and how they made America the land of opportunity, then embodied the very promise that has made America exceptional, like President Reagan in his final speech to the nation. Quote, "Since this is the last speech that I will give as a president, I think it's fitting to leave one final thought, an observation about a country which I love. It was best stated in a letter I received recently. A man wrote me and said, 'You can go to live in France, but you cannot become a Frenchman. You can go live in Germany, Turkey, or Japan, but you cannot become German, a Turk, or a Japanese. But anyone from any corner of the earth can come to live in America and become an American.'" Yes, the torch of Lady Liberty symbolizes our freedom and represents our heritage, the compact with our parents, our grandparents, and our ancestors. It is that lady who gives us our great and special place in the world. For it is the great life force of each generation of new Americans that guarantees that America's triumph shall continue unsurpassed into the next century and beyond. Other countries may seek to compete with us, but in one vital area, as a beacon of freedom and opportunity that draws the people of the world, no country on earth comes close. This, I believe, is one of the most important sources of America's greatness. We lead the world because, unique amongst nations, we draw our people, our strength, from every country and every corner of the world. And by doing so, we continuously renew and enrich our nation. While other countries cling to the stale past, here in America, we breathe life into dreams. We create the future, and the world follows us into tomorrow. Thanks to each wave of new arrivals to this land of opportunity. We are a nation forever young, forever bursting with energy and new ideas, and always on the cutting edge, always leading the world to the next frontier. This quality is vital to our future as a nation. If we ever close the doors to new Americans, our leadership in the world would soon be lost. Now, how did we fall from President Reagan's recognition of immigrants' nobility to Trump's dehumanization claim that they, quote, "they are eating the dogs, they are eating the cats, they are eating the pets," end of quote. In that stark dissent, we see the horrific moral cost of abandoning truth for political expediency. Immigrants have been the lifeblood of the American experiment. To close our door to immigrants is to close the door to the very engine of American vitality. If we open our borders, welcoming all regardless of ethnicity, race, or faith, we unleash our greatest strength, a nation reborn, limitless in its capacity to dream and achieve the impossible.